2020, oh what a year. As we approach the end of what has been a sad year for some of us, our industry, our country, and the world, I take a second and look back at all the positive moments that happened in my life, what all we accomplished despite many challenges, and highlight many goals we reached. These tough times have inspired many of us to come together in ways we never imagined. Learn to appreciate other things in life such as family, just being home. For me, myself, visiting the family farm back in Kentucky, and so much more. 2020 also brought us God's greatest gift, the birth of our newborn son, Jax, and he has given my wife and I a whole new meaning of life. From over 80 canceled shows, a #1 video on CMT, dozens of radio visits, shows in a few different cities, quarantine online concerts, a Hall of Fame exhibit, a national promo announcement such as Texas Roadhouse feature, the 2020 Kentucky Tourism Visitor's Guide, 1 million video views surpassed, new music, the birth of our son, and many more. I can truly say it was still a successful year. I must say it's been a wild joyride, and honestly, it's been the most exciting and yet most rewarding year of my journey. Thank you, Jax Dillon. During the pandemic, I was able to meet hundreds of new fans online and create many new friends and fans along the way throughout the summer. Some of you discovered my music on hundreds of Facebook Lives, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, even through press releases from my PR firm and more. At the end of the day, our fans mean the most to us, and I felt like 2020 elevated us to a whole new personal bond with many of you. Despite those canceled shows, we still played over 100 concerts this year. That's right, you heard that. 100 concerts this year. We had a remarkable year chasing dreams and goals and itching ever so close to my ultimate goal. Thank you to those who booked us. We can't thank you enough. We've continued to build our fan base, recorded a brand new album that I'm thrilled about, created lots of new momentum leading into 2021, and most importantly, spent more time with the ones I love, my family. One of the biggest priorities in my life. Like many of you this summer, we all had to quarantine at home. I know with losing shows this summer, we took more trips home to the farm, spent more time with my wife. We would exercise sometimes 2 and 3 times a day in our neighborhood because most of the summer my wife was pregnant. I even went back home and helped my dad paint the barn on our family farm and just looked after my wife most of the summer, considering she was pregnant with our first son. Another chapter and year in my career has come to an end. We kicked off 2020 with a bang. One of the highlights in my career is getting selected to be the cover boy of the 2020 Kentucky Tourism Official Visitor's Guide. What an honor that was. I'm a proud Kentuckian, and this was a huge opportunity for me and my team. You know, being from Taylorsville, Kentucky, and starting my dream of playing guitar back in 2002, I never did dream I'd be on the cover of the Tourism Guide, a state that I hold dear to my heart, where my roots still run deep. It was a big moment for me. On January the 5th, we traveled to the state capitol rotunda in Frankfort, Kentucky to attend the ceremony for the Kentucky Tourism Visitor's Guide unveiling. The Governor Andy Beshear and his staff and many news media members and loyal fans and family all attended that moment for me. I'll never forget it. Over 450,000 copies were distributed this year all across the state, including rest areas, hotel rooms, events, and anything that would attract tourism. I'm so honored they selected my photo for the front and the back of the Visitor's Guide. Soon after the tourism unveiling, my email and phone calls never stopped rolling in. 2020 was stacked up to be the biggest year of my life, with gigs coming in left and right. January and February shot off like a rocket. I played 18 shows in 31 days in January. Gigs like Evan Williams Bourbon, Old Red Nashville, Blind Squirrel, and even made my debut on WSM's primetime radio station, Coffee, Country, and Cody, on January the 23rd on Circle TV. January 23rd was also another big moment of my life. That's the day my wife told me we were expecting our first son, a day I'll never forget. February was just as hot, performing over 15 shows that month before the pandemic hit. I also attended my second consecutive country radio seminar at Omnia Hotel, Nashville, and met lots of my radio personnel there, artist friends, just a great networking event. Soon after the event and the pandemic hit, my shows started to slowly fall off the schedule. Once March rolled around, I knew things were going to be different. I'll never forget March 15th. I was sitting on a bar stool on stage at Old Red Nashville, playing my music in front of a bunch of wild Kentucky basketball fans at the SEC tournament. It was there COVID-19 and the pandemic had just started. The tournament got canceled, sports got canceled, bars started closing, and my gigs started slowly falling off my schedule. In the midst of the next several months, I shifted my focus towards other things. I put my time in recording my brand new album. I even decided to hold off on the release until 2021. I didn't think it was very smart to put out an album during the pandemic. This album will now contain 10 songs, my first full-length album out of Nashville, and the quarantine gave us just enough time to record, write, and search for new tunes. I will release it next year, and we are planning that currently, and there will be a hometown show in my hometown of Taylorsville, Kentucky. Over the course of the next few months, we put out 3 new songs. Those songs will be on my new record, and we just wanted to build momentum. The first song, Straight from Kentucky, we put out, song I co-wrote, was featured in every Texas Roadhouse nationwide. Followed by Church Pew Barstool, probably one of the most popular of my songs in my career. We shot a video for it and it landed on the CMT 12-pack countdown. Followed by Bottoms Up Sundown, another song on my new record, and American Songwriter Magazine debuted that as well. And those 3 songs have helped change my 2020. We lost 83 gigs this year due to COVID. I lost gigs such as the Kentucky State Fair, the Paducah 4th of July Festival, Baldwin Days out in Missouri, the Madison River Jam, the Derby Chow Wagon, and more. Many shows I'd worked so hard to get. April and May brought us even more canceled shows. However, there were some positive outcomes. We were on the cover of the Kentucky Living magazine. We started a Facebook Live concert every single night at 8 o'clock. Over 1 million fans attended those concerts over the course of the summer, and I'm grateful for every single fan. Also, May I became the Texas Roadhouse Artist of the Month. That was a very big deal for my career. Many of my heroes like Kenny Chesney and George Strait all were named previous Artist of the Month. And because of that, my picture was at every jukebox nationwide and every restaurant. That was a dream come true for me. June and July brought a lot of time around the house. Normally, in years past, those 2 months out of the year are the busiest months of my touring career. Usually over 50 shows amongst the 2 months. This year, due to the pandemic, we spent more time at home. We took a vacation to Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and did some other things. My wife turned 40. We drove to Fort Walton Beach this summer, spent time on the beach relaxing, celebrating her pregnancy, and her birthday. One of our most best vacations of our lives. I did perform a few shows over those 2 months. I came home after the beach and went straight to Louisville to perform for many cancer survivors, celebrating their journey in beating cancer, seeing them walk the red carpet, blowing their horns, holding signs, a moment I'll never forget. The month of September changed our lives forever. My wife and I announced the birth of our son, Jax Dillon Shelburne, born September the 21st in Nashville, Tennessee. It was a moment in time and a day I'll never forget. Being there, witnessing my son's birth, being with my wife as she went through all the stages, being prepped to give birth. Wow. I want to thank the good Lord above for blessing us with a healthy son, for giving us God's greatest gift, the opportunity to be parents to Jax Dillon. Many of our fans have showered us in gifts throughout the entire quarantine for Jax, and we are so thankful for every single person that has thought of us through this time. September also brought me the 650 WSM Artist of the Month nationwide. That's the home of the Grand Ole Opry. What an achievement. Thank you, WSM. This year I also played Old Red Nashville 28 times, as well as Old Red Gatlinburg 12 times. I sold more merchandise this year online than I ever had in the past. Due to quarantine and people buying my hats, shirts, lyric sheets, and more due to Facebook Lives, I visited the post office over 55 times this quarantine. Thank y'all so much. Thanks to many sponsors along the way that helped out this year. Oxmoor Group, Carl Truman Law, Evan Williams Bourbon, the ACM Lifting Lives, to name a few. We can't thank y'all enough. Many fans that tipped us online, that sponsored us anonymously. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. December brought us an exciting month. I got my own exhibit at the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame. Wow, I still can't believe it. Being a down-home Kentucky boy from Taylorsville, picking up guitar in college, I never dreamed I'd have an exhibit at the Hall of Fame, that I had done enough in my career to be honored by the Kentucky Music Hall of Fame. I am so grateful. We want to thank many fairs and festivals and events that honored our cancellation fees this year and agreed to bring us back next year. We are so excited and anticipating a huge year of touring, and we can't wait to get back out to play our songs and meet our fans, the most important part. Our journey is still just in the beginning stages, and after all these years, we're still excited to play our shows. My 2021 album is the best collection of songs I've compiled, and I'm dying for you to hear it. Thanks to my wife, my family, my loyal fans, my band, my PR firm 2911 Media, Jeremy, Scott, and Logan. You guys are the greatest team, and I thank you. Thanks to my fans for following us along this crazy year during the pandemic. I've been blessed by so many of you, supporters and friends, and we're so thankful that you love our music. Everyone stay safe. Wear your mask, and I look forward to getting through all this together eventually. The sound of fairs, festivals, and concerts will be heard again. Recording studios will bustle with activity, and creators will do what they do best, create, write songs. In all of God's time, I do believe. Until then, keep listening to my music, following my socials, and staying healthy. God love you, and see you in 2021.